Hey folks, we might be in for a treat today because Mike Barnett requested this song a little bit ago. Mike, shout out to you first of all. Thank you for this request. You said that this was a new release that George wrote, and I don't know when you requested this. I mean, I make my list. It could have been 2 months ago, but nonetheless, it's still going to be a relatively new release. And it's George Strait, and I think Jamie Johnson's on this track singing Kicked Out of Country. This sure sounds like a Murder on Music Row type of theme, but let's see how personal it gets with Kicked Out of Country. Here we go.
Just got the news today. The record I sent them, they threw it away. Don't fit the format, don't make the list. They say I'm too old, won't even be missed. It happened to Jones and even the Hag, Waylon and Willie and the great Johnny Cash. Kicked them right out without even a word. But that ain't the end of the story I heard. 'Cause Cash stomped out the footlights and Haggard plumb had a ball. And Willie and Waylon and Chris toured the nation, and Jones never showed up at all. Well, they lived what they wrote, and they wrote what they sang. And getting kicked out of country didn't hurt a thing. Getting kicked out of country didn't hurt a thing.
That's an interesting take. I like it. I will say this though, country artists have the greatest shelf life because there is a ton of respect for the older artists in country. I mean, Willie is still touring. He's up here in Jersey in August, and I'm planning on going to see him. One thing I've noticed is that you do have a longer shelf life in country music, especially traditional country, than other genres.
I just wrote a new song today. Pulled out my old guitar and I started to play, pressing my fingers into the strings. I felt the feelings a country song brings. I did some Jones and one for the Hag, Waylon and Willie and the great Johnny Cash. They all got kicked out of country back then. And then one day country came calling again.
There you go.
And Cash stomped out the footlights, and Haggard plumb had a ball. And Willie and Waylon and Chris toured the nation, and Jones showed up after all. They lived what they wrote, and they wrote what they sang. And getting kicked out of country didn't hurt a thing. Getting kicked out of country didn't hurt a thing.
Created legends.
Well, it don't really matter, 'cause I ain't gonna change. So getting kicked out of country won't hurt a thing.
Yeah, I guess Jamie's had an issue or two. I don't know about George, though. I think George is pretty clean. I mean, you create legend. I mean, you become an outlaw, you become a trailblazer, and then people don't necessarily like the change initially, but enough do, and if it sticks, it can grow and come back and take over, and then you become a pioneer. And most pioneers are reviled at first, but this is a mixed song though. There was like a joy to it. There was a point like it worked out. It was good anyway, but it had a very somber feel to it, of course. When you start with Steel, and I did like how the song started. It was very, and maybe it was designedly so that it was just so that you couldn't quite get your footing with it, because maybe that's what's being portrayed here, where you can't get your footing with Nashville if you don't fit the format. And God, I do not like cliche. I get why you'd have a format, something that's sort of that works. It shows that it works. So you want to get the pretty boy bands, or you get the pretty girl bands, or you get the the duets, and you put them together, and they got to have a certain look, a certain drum track, and then you lay in certain lyrics that won't be offensive, but it'll get people up at concerts and all that stuff. So it's kind of formulaic, but you lose the artistry, you lose the individuality of it. And I'm a strong individualist. That's where you get the real person. But if you've got to make money and all right, the formula works, then I guess that's what you're going to do, because that's your line of work. If you're charged with making money for a label, you're going to greenlight people who have a better chance of doing that. And maybe some esoteric, off the beaten track independent artists, they may not fit that bill about what people drink in. Yeah, I'm going to leave this one be too, because of all the references. I mean, the references really were signs of respect to Johnny, to Merle, to George. I think he even mentioned Chris Christopherson once. I think he said Chris, but of course he had Willie and Waylon in there, and just the big power hitters, the highwaymen practically, plus a few. So that's it. Mike Barnett, great find, great request. Thank you for that. You can leave your comments, but I'm not rating it. That's off the table on this one, folks. There you go. Have a great day. See you on another video. Keep rocking the country.